Hello, everyone. Let's wait a bit for people to join. Sorry for being a bit late. Some technical issues. Hello, everyone. Okay, let's slowly start. Welcome to these new installments of the Gossip Weekly News Flashes. So, as a quick reminder, we are building this chat app that's supposed to be post-chat control. So, the goal is to have a chat app that is truly decentralized, truly censorship resistant, and we're going to use some of the Masa technologies to achieve that. So today I'm going to show you a quick update on where we are at, because we are still building it. So we have improved quite a few things. One of them is that we have managed to create a whole invite system. So typically you can join the app, create a new account. Okay, that's because I was invited by a contact, but I should be able to get back. And here you go. Here I have the main screen of the discussions, and I have settings. So in the settings, for example, I can share my contact. And this can be done either by sharing a file that contains public keys or by sharing a user ID. And then the other person needs to go grab the public keys from some kind of storage. It can be decentralized storage, a blockchain, temporary Gossip cache, or simply by scanning the QR code. And that's what I'm going to do now from my phone. So I'm going to use my phone to scan this QR code. Here we go. So now with my phone, I have scanned the contact. And here I received a request. The person that requests a connection with you will always be able to add some kind of little message, because in the end, they're just some kind of public key in the network. We don't know who they are. So they can leave a little message. And if you're confident they're the right person, you can accept. Let's say that's the near two. And once you have accepted, you can chat with the person. As always, this chat is fully encrypted post-quantum double ratchet, which means that even if the keys are compromised, you still, if the keys of one message are compromised, you don't lose all the other messages. It doesn't compromise the other messages. The same way, if your static keys are lost, it doesn't cause any trouble. It doesn't allow the attacker to retrieve any of your messages. There is also plausible deniability, which means that when you chat with someone and that someone decides to leak all your messages, you can deny having ever sent them, because cryptographically, nothing proves that that person has not forged them. So all these are pretty practical things. And here, typically, we have this chat interface that's pretty smooth. We have made quite a few improvements. Now, the chat is much smoother. You can send messages. If there's any issue with the let's say with the connection, or the session is dropped or something, it's gonna be automatically renewed. So that's something we're still working on, but it's partially there already. You can also share the contact of any of the participants themselves. So it doesn't have to be you. You can share some other person's contact that you know. So this is all working. And so we have improved also the implementation on mobile. So now the mobile versions are fully operational on both Android and iOS. So we have managed to produce native APKs for them to work. But there's also this progressive web app that is still available even if the apps are censored. So this is typically where we are at. Now, the big question is, there's a few big questions. One is notifications. We're working on them. Having notifications is hard on mobile because it requires going through centralized services to be done properly. So we're trying to find ways around it. We're getting inspiration from the way other people have made it, typically SimpleX and others. So we're trying to figure out how to make this happen without going to centralized services. And we are also breaking our brains now on how to make the backend fit better. Because for now it's a prototype. So for now it's going through one server, but it doesn't assume anything about the server. So in the future, we want to decentralize this fully. But the trick is that to decentralize it, we need to exactly figure out how. And we have studied a lot of options, and we have realized that there's not a single good option. Each one of them has trade-offs. Typically, if we create a network that's weighted by stake, like a proof of stake network, unfortunately, it's not perfect. But I mean, it can work, but it's not perfect because if you think about it, proof of stake is a purely selfish capitalistic approach where you get paid more the more you stake. And the personal interest, monetary interest, is the priority and not the safety of the people. So if a person that does proof of stake also has the opportunity to sell the logs of their node, they would make more money. It's an extra. But by selling the logs, they break the security of this encryption system. I mean, actually, they don't break the encryption because they don't see the contents of the messages, but they break the metadata. They might allow people to see who is talking to whom. So there are a few solutions to this. If we build something like Tor, where basically nodes are self-declared, it's also not going to work perfectly because if anybody can join and everybody is anonymous as a node, the risk is that we get billions of nodes controlled by the same person. So if you select a node randomly, a circuit randomly, you're always going to choose only nodes from the attacker, statistically. So what they did in Tor is that they actually centralized things a bit. They have these directory authorities that vote, authorize, put more weight on some nodes than others. And that's how they achieve basically a resistance, because they choose nodes that they know are altruistic, typically associations, freedom of speech defenders, etc. And according to them, this is more powerful. So different chat apps out there have chosen different approaches. We are still looking into the best option. There are a few, and these are the two main categories. Typically, the proof of stake approach has been chosen by NEEM. It's been chosen by NEEM. It's been chosen by Session, while the approach that with authorized nodes was chosen by Tor, or to a lesser extent, SimpleX. And I have personally had the chance recently to meet one of the founders of Tor, and this guy was telling me that he, on his point of view, he doesn't really believe in proof of stake. He would prefer something that's authorized like Tor. On the other hand, when I talked to the NEEM people, they told me that proof of stakes makes more sense, but then it's debatable. So there's no consensus in the industry, and we need to figure out what's best for us. Of course, if we go for something that's authorized, where we authorize manually the nodes, I don't think we should be the ones authorizing, because we would bear the responsibility, and also it would centralize things around us, which we don't want. So if we go for something where it's authorized, it should be authorized by a quorum of actual freedom of speech defenders, typically foundations that defend freedom of speech around the world. That would make sense, but not us ourselves. Or we resort back to using proof of stake, which is imperfect, we know it, but it might be a good first step. So these are kind of the options we are working on now. We haven't decided yet which one of these ways we're gonna go, but one thing is for sure, not everything will work for every feature. Typically, having a network of more than 3 hops or gossiping, etc., when you want to do live video chat in groups, it's not gonna work. We need to figure out something more performant. But whenever something is more performant, it's also less secure. On the other hand, for just text chats, we can afford doing gossip and even more secure stuff. So overall, if you think about it, our goal would be to do the best we can in terms of user safety and privacy for each one of the features we're going to implement. So individually, so there's not going to be one solution to fit everything. We're going to actually adjust depending on the features. So yeah, that's kind of the summary of where we are at. Again, if you have any ideas, feel free to contact us. If you have any contacts that might need this kind of software to protect their privacy, to protect maybe their lives, feel free to contact us, especially if there are special needs that are not covered by other apps. It's still time for us to add very unique things in there because it's still in development. So feel free to contact us. Also, if you have any contacts of entities that defend freedom of speech and that would be ready to run some of these nodes, feel free to send them to us as well. We will gladly talk to them. In the same way, if you know any journalists, anybody who wants to talk about this, feel free to contact us. On our side, we're going to continue developing this system until it reaches a level of maturity that's good enough so that we can actually share this with you and that all of you can start playing with it and start trying it. So our goal is at the end to have something that if tomorrow chat control passes in Europe, we can literally on our side disappear and this thing is still gonna run without us. And that would be quite unique. So yeah, that's our current state. Stay tuned for the next ones. And if you have any questions, feel free to send them to us. Bye-bye.